What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Bansky here, back again with a delicious video. And today, we're going to be watching a video by the Roundtable, Dipper and Maple Parents Divorced. And pretty much, Gravity Falls, the book of Bill Cipher Twist Explained. And yeah, this is a 10-minute and to 47-second video. Yeah, pretty much. And this video actually came out yesterday. And of course, this is one of the videos that at first I was going to watch it, by myself, do what I gotta do. But obviously, instead, I was like, you know what? Why not share this video with you guys? Since I didn't share a video yesterday, because actually I've been uploading some gameplay footage of the Outlast trials on my second channel. Not to brag or anything, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so far I'm trying to get into gaming, and actually, matter of fact, I think that I'm going to take a break from the gaming video today and do the trials the day after today. Today is gonna be a reaction video day. And so far, with all that being said though, let me not waste your time any longer. Let's hop straight into the delicious content. Well, let's hop into the Roundtable.
The Book of Bill has sowed a lot of seeds for the future of Gravity Falls, from an invasion of parallel pines to the resurrection of Bill's Cipher, but it also does a lot to recontextualize the past. The book further fleshes out our core cast of characters and their origins. It felt like every few minutes I was reading another massive revelation that changes the way I look at Gravity Falls. The most shocking of these truth bombs revolving around Dipper and Mabel's parents, and the heavy implications that they might be getting a divorce, which is a twist that blows my mind, because not only does it explain so much about why Dipper and Mabel were shipped out to Gravity Falls for the summer, but it sheds new light on Mabel's state of mind when she got tricked by Bill, why she was acting so nonchalant inside the bubble, and why Dipper taking Ford's apprenticeship was such a big deal to both of them. Honestly, this is one piece of information that completely changes the way I look at Dipper.
Okay, one thing I will say is that one thing I will point out is that I actually seen a clip on TikTok of them talking about this, which is what got me interested in Gravity Falls again. Because let's be honest, Gravity Falls one of the best shows Disney has ever produced, and I really hope that they actually come out with more Gravity Falls in the future, just to keep it going, But one thing I saw when I was on TikTok is that they actually said that in the TikTok is that apparently, when it comes to Dipper and Maple, apparently they're in every universe they essentially didn't win every single encounter. There are certain encounters that they fail and they lost to, and pretty much just plummet straight from grace, if you want to put it like that. And essentially the Dipper and Maple that we're seeing here, the main two that we see, like our main two, are the 1% that actually not only won all fights, but got a happy ending. Because apparently, from what people have been claiming, is that the reason why they survived all their encounters and managed to get the good ending was because of something that completely separated them from the rest of their variants in the multiverse. Which apparently Maple was never supposed to get Waddles. If you don't know who Waddles is pretty much the pig. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. I'm pretty sure that's what the name was. It was Waddles. And pretty much she was never supposed to win the pig. And so pretty much Maple ended up getting this pig. Pretty much set them up for literally becoming that 1% that managed to win every single fight and managed to get home safely. So yeah. Pretty much 99% of the time, Maple and Dipper lost some kind of battle, and they end up being twisted turn. Pretty much they had a bad ending. They end up with a bad ending. But for our Dipper and Maple, they are literally the 1%, all because of a pig named Waddles. Changed everything apparently. And I believe that's just a theory of some people. But hey, who knows? That actually might be canon when you think about it.
Dipper and Mabel's arcs. Seriously, everything clicks into place. I've been itching to break this down, so enough beating around the bush, let's dive into it.
Like and subscribe!
Oh, please?
Nice
so the
one.
Book of Bill has a chapter all about dreams. Bill's a dream demon after all. It's sorta his specialty. He explains that he's one of the select few beings who has access to the mindscape, a realm that all consciousness is connected to. Every time we fall asleep, our minds open up a portal to this domain. This is what allowed Bill to understand mind back in Dreamscaperers, and how he initially introduced himself to Ford back in the day after being summoned. Although we know he can also enter your head if you make a deal with him. Bill gives us a peek into the dreams of our main squad, the characters represented in the Zodiac. Some of these dreams skew more to the comedic side of things, like how Seuss wants to change his last name to Pines, which Melody will have a problem with, or how Ford is pansexual, or how Gideon actually loved the sailor suit that Bill put him in during Weirdmageddon. Blubs only dreams about Derlin and vice versa, which is really cute. But then a lot of these dreams are just dark or sad, providing insight into these characters in a way that makes us really feel for them. Wendy almost exclusively dreams about her late mother, implying that her death really had an impact on Wendy, and that she died when Wendy was old enough to remember her. They were probably close, and Wendy just bottles all of that up. God, she has the potential to be one of the most interesting characters in the franchise. More Wendy development is a great argument for more Gravity Falls if you ask me. Pacifica has nightmares about trying to wash blood off her hands, but it never comes out, and she accidentally crushes the town because she's 100 feet tall. Both dreams, I believe, are a reflection of the guilt she associates with being a Northwest, after realizing just how self-centered and cruel her family truly is. Her family legacy was built off screwing over the less fortunate. Generational sins that she feels like she can't atone for. Hence the blood that can't be washed off. Wanting to be better than her parents, she's becoming conscious of the fact that her name has power and influence, and she wants to use it for the greater good, that power being why she's 100 feet tall. But she's afraid of turning out like any other Northwest, leaving other people to suffer for her own benefit, hence crushing the town. Poor girl has a lot on her mind. And apparently in her dreams, Archibald Corduroy, the lumberjack ghost, still communicates with her. He seemed to gain respect for Pacifica, but maybe he still shows up as a way to hold her accountable, applying pressure for her to do better. Or maybe he's just venting about hell. Stan has nightmares about being in high school and his brother being trapped in a science fair experiment, eluding the Ford Science Fair project that would have been revolutionary, but Stanley, being reckless and angry, destroyed the experiment by mistake. It makes perfect sense that he's still dreaming about this after like 40 or 50 years, because destroying Ford's experiment was the catalyst to everything changing. The two bros falling out for years, Stan getting kicked out the house, Ford going to backups more and meeting Fiddleford. That science fair project is responsible for this entire series happening, and Stan still regrets messing it up all these years later. Mabel's dreams tend to generally impress Bill, as he boasts that she has some of the greatest dreams in the whole mindscape, but she has reoccurring nightmares where she fails to save a dying pig. Waddles. She's extremely paranoid about Waddles kicking the bucket, because not only did she nearly lose him when they first met in the Time Traveler's Pig, but she has trauma from him getting abducted by a dinosaur in the Land Before Swine. Honestly, I really feel for Mabel, because I'm constantly paranoid about my cat Milkshakes, since I was forced to give up my childhood cat eons ago when I moved for the first time. I wasn't even in middle school back then, and it still affects me now in my 20s. I totally buy that Mabel would be messed up over everything her and Waddles had been through over the summer. But then there's Dipper's dream, the big one.
Recurring nightmares while overhearing a fight between his parents he wasn't supposed to hear. Why do you think they're in such a rush to get the kids out the door for the summer?
God damn. Dipper said while narrating in the first episode that his parents sent him and Mabel out to Gravity Falls for the summer so that they wouldn't be inside brain rotting all day, and instead get some fresh air, make some new friends. But in actuality, it sounds like their parents sent them off for 3 months because they were in the process of separating. They were getting a divorce and needed some time to figure out their arrangements. Who keeps the house? Who has custody of the kids? What are weekends gonna look like? Etc. It was just better the kids were away from home so that they wouldn't be caught in the middle of any tension. They wouldn't have to overhear any more arguments. This one piece of information completely changes my perception of Dipper and Mabel. This truly recontextualizes their arcs from start to finish. Why did Dipper become so obsessed with the mysteries of the town? Why did Mabel become so laser focused on getting a boyfriend? It's not just because they're kids, it's because they're desperately trying to distract themselves from the anxiety of their parents splitting up. The dread of not knowing what their lives are going to look like like after they go back home. Knowing that holidays like Thanksgiving or Christmas won't ever be the same, yet not knowing how it'll be different. Are they going to have to move to a new house? If so, are they going to have to go to a new school district and basically start their lives over? All of this is a lot for any kid to have to think about, and as a child of divorce, it really ain't easy. So it makes sense that they would both resort to escapism. Dipper trying to unravel a 30-year-long mystery, and Mabel settling for trivial relationships that feel like a big deal when you're young, but don't really matter in the long run. Mabel's coping mechanism is definitely a bit more realistic, but Dipper's can easily be equated to someone just hyperfixating on media in the real world. This is how I look making cartoon theories. But not only does this rationalize a lot of their behavior in an average episode of the series, but it really gives us a whole new perspective on where their heads were at during the end of the series. Dipper was so enticed by Ford's offer to stay in Gravity Falls as his apprentice because that meant he wouldn't have to go back home to a broken family. Not that the Stan Bros were any better at that point, but at least there were cool monsters to fight. Mabel was crushed by the mere idea of Dipper staying behind in Gravity Falls because that would have meant that she had to face the new status quo at home alone. Which, your twin, your absolute best friend abandoning you during a significant time in both of your lives isn't.
Yeah, that would have been See, it's most like these. I can't find the words to say, but I have nothing to say in this situation because it's not like I ever been in this situation, but in this situation. Yeah, I can definitely see this being a possibility. And for all we know, hey, they might address this in just in case they might come out with a new Gravity Falls. Hey, they can address this. If this is actually becomes a part of the lore, that would be hella interesting to see something like this get confirmed. Cause like it really adds more to their story. So yeah, I could definitely see this being like a cool detail to be added. But, okay. Yeah, so far he's cooking, man. I don't, he's cooking with this, man. Like, damn. Okay.
Gonna feel great no matter how you spin it. Mabel was always going to get the short end of the stick in that deal. Speaking of deals, yes, Dipper and Mabel's parents getting a divorce would explain why Mabel was emotionally vulnerable enough to get tricked by Bill, handing over the rift to who she thought was Blendin Blandin. The Book of Bill actually leans into this, as we learn that Cipher tried to make a deal with Mabel before Weirdmageddon. He loved Mabel's style and found her to be a perfect pawn. So what went wrong for him? Well, her mind has wanted posters of Bill everywhere, and her Hall of Secret Fantasies is protected by Xyler and Kraz. Bill infiltrates the facility under the guise of Chill Cipher, but ultimately, Mabel's big secret fantasy was just a CD of Fantasy by Mariah Carey. So Bill demands to learn what makes Mabel sad, a weakness that he can exploit, to which Xyler and Kraz state, "Summer's ending, my guy. Ending to death, bro. She'd do anything to make it last just a day longer. Probably something rash and out of character even." Gotta love Hirsch taking the piss out of any Mabel haters out there. Don't shoot the messenger, but yes, Mabel was desperate enough to find any way to make summer last for as long as possible, because she didn't want to face a world where her parents were divorced. Bill, only working with some of the details, capitalized on this and possessed Blendin Blandin, the one person who could offer her more time. And we all know how that turned out. This also explains why Mabel had an odd ignorance is bliss vibe in Mabelland. Although I think Bill was influencing her with his dark magic, this was all the escapism she could ever hope for. She was in a world where her parents never get divorced, and she didn't want to give it up. She didn't want to see it for what it really was. This really increases the impact of Weirdmageddon 2, Escape from Mabelland's ending in particular, as the two vow to stick together and face the future no matter what happens. Knowing that they're not just talking about Bill or turning 13, but dealing with some really hard changes in their immediate family. Again, it changes their whole arc. I could go on about it all day, but I think I'll pipe down and save it for any character videos I may do in the future. Like
man, I love it.
Ones I started making, which you should check
if this becomes actual lore, bruh, I love it.
Adamant about Watto's going home with the twins. They're already going through a lot. They don't need another thing to be upset about. And if you're already going through some drastic changes, what does throwing a pig into the mix really do beyond some much needed emotional support? So then,
I mean, hey,
twist that changes gravity.
Hey, everybody need their emotional support animal. Unless you're a person who don't like animals, then understand, not every animal is evil, okay? There are animals out there that are good in nature if you give them the right amount of nurturing, okay? So, hey, most of the time there are animals out there that could be good pets, except it could end up becoming a problem. But hey, that is just my 2 cents. I'm just saying.
Falls as we know it. One that adds a lot of relatability to viewers out there. I don't think it was planned during the original series, but it's a very welcomed addition. Now yes, for all we know, Dipper and Mabel's parents could have worked things out while the kids were gone, and I'd love that outcome. But I don't think that really changes the state of limbo Dipper and Mabel were existing in for 3 months while they were far from home. It's the uncertainty of the future that matters more to this story than whatever the future actually ends up being. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours. How do you feel about this development? What else do you think this drastically changes in the show? Let us know in the comments down below, and keep the conversation.
Alright, I'm gonna just end it right here. Okay, so far, obviously, me just bringing up that multiverse little theory thing is just crazy. But so far, I can definitely see this being the case. Obviously, there needs to be more solid evidence. Personally, I wouldn't just take it based upon something that's been written in a book. But I could definitely see where he's taking a little bit further stretch by saying, "Oh, she wants this summer to continue a little bit longer," and it's like I doubt a kid will be so distraught over summer ending because they gotta start school again. I mean, most of the time, kids when kids hear about that first day of school, shoot, they already got their new outfits laid out, freshed out, like. I can't wait for the first day of school. I'm gonna be looking so freshy. I'm gonna be looking so fresh. And yeah, so far I can definitely see her wanting the summer last longer because it's probably something back at home that plays a huge picture. And of course with Dipper saying what Bill saying what Dipper was dreaming of, and the fact that Dipper is probably actually, I just thought Dipper was just pretty much a nerd. So it makes sense for him to be curious in things that are real, but it's also considered not real. You feel me? Like, I'm telling you right now, I'll be interested in things that are not real, but at the same time, I do be cautious. I wouldn't go out my way to like chase after what is unless I know that it's something that can do harm to me, but not necessarily do harm to me. I'll take a look at it and be curious. But if I see something that looks like it's about to kill me, I'm running. I'm hitting for the fucking hills. I'm dipping. I'm straight up dipping. But in this situation, everything that just seems crazy and magical, I can understand it piques Dipper's interest. And plus, I think sometimes it also piqued Maple's interest at times. Like, depending on what mythos is derived from. Or what creature it is. Hell, I'm pretty sure there was a time where her little boyfriend, who was, if I recall, he was a vampire. That vampire or an undead creature. I forgot what it was. The guy with the hoodie. And let's be real, even though she found out what he was turned off, she probably would have made a silly exception. But of course, with that being said, though, let me not stall any longer. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to all that sexy jazz, and make sure you let me know what you want me to react to down in the comment section below. If you got any recommendations, if you got anything to say about me or your content that I'm uploading, okay? You say what you want to say. Like the video if you want, dislike it if you think that this is not it, and yeah, catch you guys next time, okay? Deuces.